everyone. I'm Meredith Marakovits. As you know, you're already on my Instagram page, but I'm pretty sure you know Bryan Hoch. In case you don't, he's a writer for MLB.com covering the Yankees. He's been a good friend of mine for a lot of years. Not to mention, he is the author of The Baby Bombers.
Thank you. Yeah, and co-author of Mission 27, which
Right
Meredith
here.
has right here.
I read them both. They're wonderful books if you haven't read them, and you are a Yankees fan. Put it on your list.
Now.
Right.
Do it now.
Did I get everything I was supposed to contractually out of the way now?
We're done. We're clear. Yep. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Yep. See you later. Okay. Well, you know what? Pitchers and catchers report tomorrow. Are you excited?
Yeah, I think so. How do you not be excited? I mean, this team wins 103 games last year. Everybody gets hurt. Everybody's on the injured list. They still win 103 games. They go to the ALCS, and then they take the best pitcher in Garrett Cole from the team that beat them. Yeah, I'm very excited for this. I think chances are the best since they've been since probably 2009 to end this season with a parade through the Canyon of Heroes. So, yeah.
It's really crazy because the injured list actually stretched way beyond the 25-man roster. It actually extended to you, Bryan Hoch.
Oh, is that where we're going?
How are we doing right now? Michael K, too. You're not the only one.
That's
there
true.
were a couple people
John Sterling.
were bit by the injury bug.
John Sterling broke that streak. Oh, man. Yeah, that was a bigger story than me. I'm doing fine.
Come on, one John Sterling impression since you're on the
Only
the name.
one?
Oh, go ahead. Have one. We have time.
I've got so much time, Meredith. We're on the internet. I don't even know what that is. I don't know what it is. Anyway.
Do you think if we told him that this was online, he could find us?
No.
No?
On a flip phone?
Fair point.
How?
Fair point. I heard there were rumblings.
I will tell you a story about John Sterling, though. I wrote a story toward the end, and he's talked about this too, toward the end of Jeter's career. And it was about how John was the only person who has seen every single one of Derek's games, other than probably his family, his mom and dad. But John was there for every single one, and I talked to him about it. And we did the interview, and he said, now, Bryan, if I want to read this, how do I do that? And I said, well, you go on the internet, you go to MLB.com, Yankees.com. He goes, I'm not going to do that. Could you just print it out for me? And so that's how John got his copy.
He is one of a kind. He really is. He's a wonderful soul.
We love him.
And probably one of the most remarkable things is the fact that, like, we go back to whatever source we generally go to online to verify stats, do whatever. He has all of it in his head.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't even go back, I don't think. He just knows everything. He'll
No.
be like, well, 7 years ago, 9th inning, whatever, and he just remembers it all. It's amazing. It's pretty amazing when you think about it.
And it's not just baseball, because he's done hockey, he's done basketball, and he knows that stuff just as well. We were having dinner last season, and he's telling me all these stories about the 80s Atlanta Hawks and this crazy stuff. I'm like, how do you even remember this? But no, there's a wealth of knowledge there.
There's no doubt about it. As far as the 2020 Yankees are concerned, you've been part of the Sidewalk Gang now for about a week. How's life over at Himes?
Life is hot. It's hot in Tampa. I don't know if you know this. Florida is warm.
Did you know that going into that, or was that a surprise?
I had heard that going in,
year?
and I tried to confirm that. For people who don't know, so when the Yankees come down here, before they get over to George Steinbrenner Field, pitchers and catchers go over there tomorrow. Before that, they're all working out the minor league complex, and that is not open to fans. It's not open to media. So we're kind of just out there on the sidewalk hoping to get what we get, and a lot of times we're yelling at players to please come over the same way an autograph would. And hopefully they know who we are at this point. But for a guy it's their first year, they've never seen anything like this because the other camps are pretty much wide open. So I remember Zach Britton a couple years ago was saying, and I think it was last year. It was his first spring, and he was like, "I didn't know who you people were or why you were yelling at me because, it's just different. It's different in the Yankee world." But so we got a few. We talked to Masahiro Tanaka yesterday. We talked to Mike Ford today. Chad Green earlier in the week. So we've had a few hits, but looking forward to getting over to Steinbrenner.
Highlight of the week.
Highlight of the week?
Yes.
Was I suppose talking to Masahiro Tanaka. That was pretty cool. There wasn't a whole lot. I'm sorry.
I don't want to bring up what might be a sore subject, maybe even more sore tomorrow. It looks like the sidewalk got you a little bit today.
Sidewalk did get me. I don't know if you can see this here. I was wearing a hat, and right about here where the hat lets off, and so the back of my neck. Sunscreen is good Florida, yeah. CVS, Walgreens, all that. Go.
Now, you are my first guest
Yes.
on whatever this is.
So this will be deleted, and this is a test drive for.
No telling if there'll be another episode tomorrow, or this will be it. This could be the end of it. So certainly comment, let us know if you like the conversation. But I was going to give you a little thank you for being my first guest. I was going to wait till the end,
Okay.
but due to the circumstances, I feel like no time like the present
I guess.
for
What is it?
presents.
Is it sunscreen? Ooh, it is. Wow, I really needed this. That's great. Yeah, no, this is
Not on my watch,
steered
Hope.
the conversation right to it, and
See
look at that.
Got
Meredith,
some variety.
this was worth coming for. This is great.
Look at that. That's
Wow.
for your face.
Fantastic. Yeah, I will put that on immediately as soon as we're done taping.
Connie will thank me.
Yes.
Connie will thank
So
me.
will
later.
everybody.
So tomorrow, obviously, pitchers and catchers report, and Garrett Cole, I would think, is going to be the largest story. He's expected to speak to the media. But at this point, is there anything that he can say that we haven't heard already?
I mean, he pretty much aced that press conference in December. I mean, that was the equivalent of a perfect game.
Right.
He went out there and he just nailed it. And this is a guy who wanted to be in New York, prepared for this his whole life. Obviously, he went through Pittsburgh, went through Houston. He got the major league experience. And no, he just seemed like a finished product that day in New York. And so I'm not so much looking forward to hearing him speak because I think you're right. He said it already. He's got to get out on the mound, and then we can find out more. I'm looking more forward to watching him prepare and how he interacts with guys in the clubhouse. I mean, this is going to be a pretty much new team for him. I'm not even sure how many guys he's going to know, if any. But I think that's going to change pretty quickly. I think that just based on what I've heard from him in Houston, he's going to really fit in well with this group. And look, he came here because he wanted a challenge. He could have stayed out there and taken the money from the Dodgers or the Angels and lived that easy life in Southern California. He wanted the pressure of being in New York City, knowing that he is the final piece to a Yankees World Series championship team. And even Hal Steinbrenner said, Hal said, I don't expect one World Series. I expect multiple out of Garrett Cole. So that's where the bar is set. So might as well start now.
No doubt about it. And, I'm sure you did your due diligence. Whenever a new player comes over to the Yankees, as two people that cover the team, you often reach out to others that have covered him in the past. And I don't think I came across one person that said something negative about Garrett Cole.
No, I didn't hear any negative. I just heard how he really has prepared for this since childhood. I mean, he was a Yankee fan, and we have all seen the picture, and he brought out the wrinkled cardboard. But even when he was a high school sophomore, I believe, people were bringing him boxes of baseballs in the training room at his high school to sign because they knew he was going to be big. Now, they didn't know he was going to be first round big, but he turned out to be, and he turned out to be the runner-up in the Cy Young Award last year. I mean, this is a guy who's coming in at the top of his game. And by the way, you can blame me in part for the fact he's the runner-up in the Cy Young, because I did have a Cy Young vote last year. I voted Verlander 1. I voted Cole 2. I didn't know I was going to be covering Garrett Cole the next season, but we had to have that in at the end of September, and at the time it looked a little even. The postseason looked much less even.
Right.
So I would like to apologize to Garrett Cole for voting him too, but I think he's okay with that.
Absolutely no doubt.
8 other people had to have changed their votes too to change it around, so I don't feel so bad. But
I feel like he's definitely going to watch this.
yeah, I have no doubt. So
No chance.
yeah,
No chance.
So if I could change my vote now, I probably would.
You would?
I think so. I mean, based on the postseason. But
That's tough, though.
I used the no-hitter as a tiebreaker, and Verlander threw one, and Cole. Well, whatever. It doesn't matter.
No, it's tough, though. When you have to vote on it, you don't see the postseason
No.
product. And obviously,
No.
that can make such a difference
Sure.
as far as how people perceive him, not only for that season, but for a guy like Garrett Cole going into free agency. Obviously, we knew he was going to get a ton of money, but that certainly helped the cause a little bit.
Yeah.
Anyone else you're looking forward to seeing tomorrow?
Oh, well, we're going to talk to Aaron Boone. We've talked to Boone a lot this offseason, though. I feel like that is not necessarily new. Pitchers and catchers, I mean, it's always good to have the whole group of guys around. And, looking forward to seeing Luis Severino. Saw him briefly today. Didn't get a chance to talk to him, so that'll be good. And it's fun to have the whole gang there. And pitchers and catcher report day is kind of guys are coming in, they're getting their weigh-ins done, they're getting their uniforms, they're getting the locker set up, and then they'll leave. So it's not as intense a day. I mean, I know we all circle pitcher and catcher report, but the day after that, when they're actually on the field throwing the ball and you get to see guys in the bullpen and stuff, that's when a true test of things happens. But most of these guys have been down here already. I mean,
Well, that's really what's been impressive to me. And it doesn't matter if they're a first, second, third year player or somebody that's been in the league for a very long time. It seems as though a lot more guys than ever have made a point to make sure they've been down here for the last couple weeks. They are ready to get going this 2020 season.
No, and the position players are here. I mean, we won't even see them for a week, but guys like Aaron Judge and Tyler Wade, Mike Talkman, Clint Frazier. I was watching these guys. Luke Voigt.
Mike Ford, you talked to today.
Mike Ford talked to today. You know, he feels much more comfortable. Nobody knew this guy's name really last year, unless you were diehard, really like looking into the Yankee farm system. And I know he was a New Jersey guy, so maybe more people knew him than I'm giving credit for. But he was behind Voigt. He was behind Greg Bird. I'm sure there were probably some other guys in there. It took a lot for him to get up to the major league level and then to prove he could play there. So now he comes into camp. Everybody knows his name for the most part, and he's got a legit shot. So that's exciting.
Now, obviously, they need to prepare in a certain way. Is there anything special you do to prepare for spring training?
We drove down this year. Again, we usually pack up the car and drive down.
Now, let's give a little background.
Okay.
So it's Bryan's whole family. His lovely wife, Connie, and he is the two most adorable little girls. How old is Penny right now?
Penny is 3.
3, and Maddie is?
Maddie is 1.
So that seems like it could be a very large undertaking for
relocate them to Florida for 7
hours,
weeks. Yeah,
17 hours, 18 hours. What did it take you?
About 18, but I would say the larger undertaking is relocating all of that with their toys and their clothes and everything it takes to keep the household moving, and then just uproot it and say, all right, we're going to live in Florida now for 7 weeks. And I mean, it's a blessing because they're not in school right now, and we can do that.
Right.
And so. We're taking advantage of it, but yeah, it's a lot to pack up the car and come on down.
Now, I feel like I drove down as well. I feel like my drive down and your drive down
Did you go straight?
Yeah, straight through, dramatically different, but I'm a weirdo. I like to drive alone. Like, I don't care to have somebody with me. It's like me time, listen to the radio. Half the time, I don't even call anybody. People will call me because they know I'm driving, but I have no interest really in talking to anybody. I'm just kind of like, wow, this is
How
nice.
far did you get
Open road.
before you were tired? Like, when did you want to stop?
Well, I left from a friend's house in Philadelphia. So I left about 3:30 in the morning.
Wow.
So I like leaving really early.
That's smart.
Because I'm super anal retentive about traffic in Philadelphia, D.C.
Smart.
And then a couple of those cities along the way. Because if you hit that the wrong way,
we hit rush hour in D.C.
it's going to be just bad news, absolute bad news. So I'm not doing it. And I like to get there at a reasonable time, as opposed to like 2, 3 in the morning. Now you have another driver if need be. Connie can take over.
I did have to call to the bullpen at the Florida state line. I said, all right, that's enough. And I said, I'm going to take a nap for here 2 hours.
But I don't know how you go. I go 95 down, but I don't go through Orlando. I take that like sketchy road across. I like to hit that before it gets super dark out because I feel a little bit like I'm going to get murdered. And that is not the result I want from my drive down.
No.
So I try I try to just get through that area and get on a real road before it's like midnight.
It is, let me phrase this correctly, it is a very rural part of Florida.
I think that's a fair assessment.
Yes.
And I've stopped before. I mean, I stopped at a gas station. People are lovely, wonderful people. There's a nice Pilot, I believe, right around there. I think it's a Pilot. I don't know. But that stretch, you can't really stop anywhere on that stretch.
No, and they're all back roads.
So I like to get through that if I'm driving solo. Just because I can hear I'm old enough. I'm I guess a full-blown adult. I don't know, but I could still hear like my mother's voice in the back of my head, like, Meredith, that's not very wise to be doing this. So I don't know. I just like to avoid that.
There's a lot of things you do that are not very wise.
Like what?
I mean,
like what?
I don't know. I mean, we don't have enough time to get into it.
Yeah, nor do you guys want to hear it, I am sure. But
no, I'm sure they do.
They probably do, but I don't really think I want to reveal that. But you know what? I started covering the Yankees for radio in 2010,
I remember when your first year on the beat,
Yeah, and I was, kind of a newbie there, and I met you. So we've been friends essentially since 2010.
Wow, a decade.
Pretty crazy, right?
Wow, crazy, yeah.
And Hoch, back when we were like young and fun and probably like maybe a smidge more reckless.
Yeah.
We would hang out in the city.
Yeah.
And do you remember that one time that like we went out and I insisted on baking cookies at like 1:30 a.m.?
They were good cookies, as I remember it. But yeah, Meredith can bake. Did you know that?
Well, Hoch, there's more.
There's more.
Oh, there's more. This is really, I'm blowing it out for the first guest.
I know.
Again, this probably isn't going to happen.
I don't know who the next guest is, but you're going to have to really bring your A game.
I mean, this isn't an A game here, but I feel like I'll say it's a good old college try.
Okay.
It was supposed to say Sidewalk Gang 2020.
Wow.
But
In Marshmallow.
that's not the way it happened. But
Good.
this is for
Wow,
you and the
thank
family.
you.
Like
Thank
a nice
you.
little
Ooh, it's
cookie.
still warm.
Cookie cake
Look at that.
from scratch. There was none of this just like
Wow.
taking it out of the
Actually
thing.
smells really good.
Would you like some? I can grab you a
Yes.
fork.
Well,
Oh.
that is what people came onto YouTube or Instagram to watch, is
there
me
a
eating
fork?
food.
Yeah, I mean 100%.
I'm sure.
Here, let's see. Hold on. Let me find something over here. This is what I would call great content
good
right
TV.
now.
Are we canceled yet?
I mean, if we're not by now.
All right, I'm going to
I
try.
mean, that could be terrible. I have no idea. I
If-
would lower
If it
expectations.
is terrible, like, do I have to fake it? I do. We're on camera, right?
No, I don't care. Nobody's hiring me to cook things.
That's good. They should.
Now, are you lying or telling the truth? I don't know.
You'll never know.
That's so harsh.
It's good.
No, also kind of fun. Somebody sent me this in the mail.
Okay.
I don't know that it's for me
It's for me.
because it's a bit of a smaller size and I have a very large head. And I just don't think that that's something I'm going to do. It's adorable though. And I was thinking of your girls. How are they at sharing?
Not great.
So this is a bad idea.
How great do you think they are? I mean, they're 2 years apart, and Maddie's now starting to want to play with toys, and
I'd imagine.
Penny is very defensive about
I'd
her
imagine
Barbies,
there's
yeah.
some chaos in the household. So is this a bad idea or a good
A
idea?
great idea. I can't wait to see what happens.
I would. It's
I'll
called
put it on.
Team Toppers.
Team Toppers.
Thank you so much for that.
Not my best look, but not my worst. So,
I mean,
worth the drive.
Thank
you.
I don't have any more presents for you.
That's
really
it?
that's
All right.
really it.
No, thanks.
But I
Thanks
thought of
for
the
having me.
girls. I thought that they would like that. But let's have like a little fun.
Were we not having fun already?
No. I mean, there has been no fun here so far.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But have you been watching this season of The Bachelor?
No. But what do you think about now this is a perfect segue. Baseball is trying to copy The Bachelor
Wow,
for the
this
postseason
is
stuff.
where it's going. It's like it's
Yeah.
now like turning into sports as entertainment. I
make
get
sense?
sports as entertainment, but now they're kind of going with a little bit of a reality twist. Did Mike Ford talk about that at all today?
No, he didn't. But I'm trying to picture like, all right, say it was last season, and Brian Cashman is at this thing now, this reality TV show, and he has to give a rose to the Boston Red Sox and say, "We choose you for the for the ALDS." Is this really what we want? I guess.
Who's the host? Who's the host guy that's always like, this is going to be the most dramatic episode of
Choose your
playoff
playoff
choosing,
opponent
yeah.
2022.
Oh my God, can you imagine the amount of data that would go into that decision?
Oh my gosh.
Insanity.
No.
Insanity. I can't believe
Do we
that
need
they
this?
would do that.
Do
I
we
mean,
need
I
this?
understand expanding it to more teams to a degree,
Okay, yeah, sure.
but as far as picking your own opponent,
I don't love that.
seems like dicey territory.
You've been in a clubhouse long enough that every time when it becomes the postseason time,
Right.
and we go to these guys and we say, hey, how do you feel about facing X versus Y? Or like, are you guys looking forward to facing X? They never give a good answer.
No.
They never give a good
Well, you
answer.
know they care, but they're not going to tell you because
No,
they don't
because-
want it out there that who's going to say, oh, I don't want to face Garrett Cole. Nobody's going
Right.
to say that. I mean, like, oh, no, we can hit anybody. We're that good of an offense.
Or, I mean, is Aaron Judge going to be at his locker and be like, yeah, I can't wait to face the Red Sox. I would love that. Like, we're going to beat their, No!
This is a PG show.
PG, I'm sorry, I didn't say it. They're going to beat their tushies.
That sounded even weirder and creepier
It did.
for the record.
Anyway.
Jesus.
But no, because then that's going to be in every newspaper, and it's going to get printed out on the Red Sox walls or whatever
Yeah.
team we're talking about. And like nobody in baseball, teams don't talk about who they want to face.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen.
It is what it is.
Are we drinking?
This is club soda
Oh.
for those at home. It definitely is.
I
The
didn't get
bottle
any.
is right there. I know. I was just thinking that because I'm like, it's really hot in here. I don't know what I did turn off the air.
No, that's
I don't
fine. I was
know.
just broiling in the sidewalk for 5 hours today to talk to Mike Ford. But yeah, no, I don't need any beverages.
Do you like water?
No, I'm good.
I thought I was doing so many good
Yeah,
things,
it's
but
good.
meanwhile, he's beyond dehydrated. He's
But
not
I've
going
got-
to make it home.
I've got cookies and I've got sunscreen. So I'm good. I'm good for the drive back to New York now.
Oh my God. You know what? On that drive, though, do you have like a favorite gas station? It's a weird thing to ask somebody, but like
no, I
because
can't
some
say
are
there's one that
better-
I have to hit.
but some are better than others.
Oh yeah, like a Wawa is good, and like a Speedway, those are good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually, I mean, usually you're basing it on how clean are the bathrooms going to be, and also like am I going to die if I eat something from here?
Also
And
true.
so,
Bar is very low.
so if
there
you
is a
can
bar.
give me a moderately clean bathroom and promise me I won't die if I eat some of the food, I don't really eat food at a gas station. Who eats food? Like, who eats those like hot dogs that are in the roller? Who is going? When we lived in Manhattan,
I mean,
had
that's a terrible idea.
When we lived in Manhattan, I had a 7-Eleven that was downstairs from our building, and I would go in there and get coffee or whatever. It's the same hot dogs every single day, the same ones. Like, I don't think they move. And who would eat that? Who comes in and is like, I'm starving for that?
Well, here's my retort to that.
Okay.
Obviously, somebody, because everyone still has the hot dogs.
Yeah.
Like, if nobody ever ate them, they'd just pack it up and be like, this is
not working.
Yeah, we're losing money here. We can't keep throwing away all these hot dogs.
But I think, my point is, I think it's the same hot dog day after day. I don't think they ever throw them away.
No, you have to. I think, like, legally you have to because there's codes you're supposed to abide by. Like, I don't know.
Grade pending. You can slap that up. I saw enough grade pendings in my day. It's all good.
Have you ever knowingly walked into a grade pending and just been like, that's cool? Really?
Yeah.
You just
that doesn't scare me.
caution to the wind.
It depends what I want. Yeah, if I want it, grade pending's not going to
What do you
stop
want?
me.
The stomach? You want food poisoning?
But like, there are so many small violations. That could be you left the refrigerator door open. Like, it doesn't have to mean it's infested with rats or something. It could be, and that's part of the magic of living in New York City. So,
Somebody told me now though. Actually, Yelp. When you go and look at stuff on Yelp, they show the violations.
Oh, really?
That's
gross. Yeah.
Which is scary.
I can't look at that.
Yeah. I don't
Because
think
honestly, you would never want to eat in any restaurant if you knew everything.
right.
If you knew chapter and verse, the history of that entire restaurant.
I think you're right.
No.
I think you're right.
I don't know where this has been, but I'm going to eat it.
Well, I made it from scratch. I
Yes.
got all the ingredients today, and if you get ill and I don't see you at the ballpark tomorrow, we know what happened.
It could be any number
Do
of
I
things.
fire off a I'm sorry letter and card to, not you, to MLB.com?
No, I don't think that's necessary. A text message would be fine.
Whoops.
Text message to me.
Wait, back to some baseball though.
Okay.
Because people probably want to hear.
People have definitely clicked off by now, so.
I mean, if they haven't, I really question your judgment.
It's
but,
just kind of background audio.
Yeah, I know some people were asked about, obviously, the Astros.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
General consensus, everybody's still peeved and
Yeah.
believe that they should have been in it in 2017.
I mean, nobody was as forceful as CC Sabathia was.
Fair.
I mean, but he is unfiltered and he doesn't care at this point. I
Right.
mean, he's going to say what he wants, and that's what makes his podcast great. Tanaka, though, surprised me. I mean, Tanaka is
He's
always
usually
so
very reserved.
And,
very reserved.
You know, if you ask Tanaka, is today Tuesday? You might have a hard time getting confirmation out of him on that. And he did not hold back. He said, "Yeah, I do feel that way. I feel like we were cheated in 2017." And look, that team. Go back to that playoff series. I've said this 1,000 times, but every team, the home team, won every single game in that 7-game series against Houston. You make one of those games in Houston go a different way. One play, one pitch, one sign that gets stolen. Maybe that all goes differently, and then the Yankees are the ones flying to Los Angeles for the World Series, and who knows what happens. I mean, Joe Girardi lost his job as a result of that. I mean, there was a lot that happened as a result of the 2017 season, and we will never know. We're never going to know what would have happened. Maybe it had no impact. Maybe it had a huge impact. But the fact is, I mean, now we know enough to know that what the Astros were doing was not cool.
Not okay.
Not okay. So
people were not thrilled.
No, we're never going to know. We'll never know. And that's a dangerous game to go back and rewrite history.
And I get it. Some people are very upset that they haven't fined individual players or suspended individual players, but to decipher exactly who was cheating, when they were cheating, how much they were cheating, it's just a slippery slope of, while maybe it's not fair to the players that were involved on the other side, or maybe frustrating to the players involved on the other side, I do see Major League Baseball's stance behind it, in that that's just so hard to go back after the fact and figure it all out.
Rewrite history.
Right.
I think the one thing, and this is a player that we both have history with, is Carlos Beltran, and the fact how this has changed the entire narrative of Carlos.
Insane.
I mean, when he was with the Yankees, I mean, he was this elder statesman, and even with Houston, I mean, very well respected throughout the game, and You fast forward, and he was Mets manager, hired, and then you fast forward here and dismissed. And it's who knows if he'll ever get to manage in the big leagues.
That's really
I don't
tough,
know.
too, because that was a perfect situation for him, and he would have been a great manager.
It's something that he wanted to do, and I don't know if he'll get that chance now. And we can debate if he deserves it or not, if this is all true, what he was involved with. But definitely has changed my opinion of Carlos, I think. I mean, it's just, I didn't see this coming, not with him. And so I'm surprised.
You know, for the most part, the Yankees roster coming into spring training is pretty much set, but there are a couple battles to keep an eye on. We have Miguel Andujar coming back into the fold. It appears as though he's healthy. He's been taking some reps, which you've been taking some amazing video of.
You saw that?
Oh,
yeah,
I did.
Thank you.
Now, if you haven't seen Hoch in action, and usually you don't see those behind-the-scenes things, but he will stop at nothing, people. If it requires taking a knee to get the proper angle, he is there. If he has to run to one side, he will do it. So he's working hard every day to bring you some good content. So what did it look like from your vantage point as far as how he was doing in the outfield?
I found a great spot, and I found it just by accident. I happened to be kind of peering over the left field fence, and he was taking fly balls. And if you watch a couple of those clips, he's running right at me and chasing the ball down on the warning track, and you can hear the crunch of the cleats against the warning track. So pretty cool. I mean, he looked good. I think there's definitely some newness to the situation for him. He's a little shaky at first. Couple balls fell, but he also made some really nice catches. And so, you know, it's practice, it's repetition. This is something that's completely new to him. I don't even know how much he's actually going to get to do it during the regular season. You look on paper, and Mike Tauchman's going to get a lot of reps out there.
Sure.
Clint Frazier is fighting for reps in left field and right field. Judge, if he's healthy, he's going to play. Brett Gardner's going to play. They want Stanton to play. I don't know how much he's going to play. That's one of the things I do want to ask Aaron Boone about is I know they want to play Stanton in left field, but how much? You know, what is the split there? Is it 50-50 with Tauchman? What is it? So hopefully he has an answer about that. And I think what it's going to turn out to be is Stanton's health.
Sure.
You know, I mean, played 15 games last year. How much can you count on him? I don't know.
But I think also, too, I mean, I do believe they want him to be able to play defense a little bit. I don't think he'll solely be the DH, just based on the fact you have guys like Judge, too, who you want to keep up. You need a couple of these guys, Gary Sanchez included, to get them that DH day, to give them a half day, maybe rest their legs a little bit. Luke Voigt as well. So I think it's very tough to go into the season saying, okay, Giancarlo Stanton is our everyday DH. I just don't see that happening.
I think he's young enough at this stage of his career where he shouldn't be. Like, if he was 38, 39 years old, like a Beltran that we're talking about, then I could see that. But he's got so many more years left. You can't say here in year 3 that Giancarlo Stanton is a DH full-time. But to answer your question about Andujar, I think he's going to play a lot of third base, a lot of first base, some left field, see where it takes him. But that bat, if he can hit the way he did in 2018 when he was the runner-up and the Rookie of the Year, that'll force a spot. Sure. If he hits 210 during spring training and he's struggling and it looks like he hasn't come all the way back from the injury, you send him down and let him get that swing back, and maybe he comes back in May or June. But if he's raking in spring training, I say put him on the team right now.
And I think that is the way that the Yankees are leaning, but he does need to show him that he's 100% healthy, that his body can bounce back, and he is good to go. And you know what? Something's weird with Stanton. I know a lot of fans certainly love to hate in Giancarlo Stanton, but they forget the first year he was here where he played injured when Aaron Judge was out and had a pretty successful season. Now, he didn't hit 50-plus home runs, but
he led the team in homers and RBIs.
Right. I mean, by no means should you look at that season and be like, that's not a good season. It was still solid numbers that he put up. I know not what the fans wanted, but certainly it will be a big year for him.
I think with Stanton, it's always going to be, I mean, problem one is the paycheck. Sure. And that's the first thing that everybody hones in on. But I think for Yankee fans, it's that he's not their guy. He didn't come up through the Yankee farm system. He wasn't drafted by them. He didn't play his way up from Trenton to Scranton the way Aaron Judge did, and then to finally get to the major leagues. Like, he's a Marlin, and he's a hired gun. And look, there have been hired guns who've come to New York and been fan favorites. You know, I mean, Tino Martinez is the first one that comes to my mind. I'm sure there's a ton of other good examples of guys who started their careers elsewhere and developed into beloved Yankees. But, you know, Stanton hasn't really done that yet. And I think last year hurt the fact that he was gone so much of the year when the team needed him. And then even in the postseason, he finally came back. And you remember what Reggie Jackson said? You remember that interview Reggie did? He said, how could he be hurt? He's been out the whole year. I saved you from a couple F-bombs there. But
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's a family show.
I know, right? Is
Yeah,
it? I don't
so
know who's watching. But
I feel like with Stanton, look, if he can go put up MVP numbers, fans will love him. And if he doesn't, I think it's going to kind of be that weird middle ground.
Sure. Anything else that's on your mind before we get going? Because I know you probably have better things to do than hang out with me in
Not
my
really.
almost kitchen.
No,
No?
no. I'm just happy I got the invite to Meredith's Clearwater abode.
How about it?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah,
Thanks.
quite a setup.
Yeah, I do what I can.
Do you like living down here?
I do. It's a nice mix for me because obviously I'm in New York during the season and I'll pop back and forth, but it's very chill down here.
Yeah.
So it's nice to kind of just get away and relax and like walk to the beach every day. It's pretty nice.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, so I'll like wake up, get coffee, walk to the beach, get another coffee, sit on the pier like I'm like 75 years old, and then get a water, and then walk home, and then do it all again the next day. That's what do. Like
I do
every
have
day.
a something. Let me.
Oh, boy.
If anybody's out there,
Oh no, I'm scared.
hello.
I'm scared.
So we got these books out here.
Oh, yeah.
I need to do a book signing at some point during spring training, but I have no idea where to go. In Tampa, where do Yankee fans like to hang out? I'd love to know where I can go and kind of hang out with you guys and sign some books and, have some beers, whatever.
Oh,
So
I was like, I can tell you did even sign mine, but he
I did. I
He
did. Of course I did.
sign mine.
So hit us up in the comments, I guess, if you have any suggestions, places we should go in Tampa, things we should see.
Please comment, like, tell us how terrible this is.
Rate, subscribe.
Do all that stuff. I really have no idea. Let's see if I could even get this posted. That'll be a modern day miracle. I do want to tell you some kind of programming notes.
Okay.
Hopefully we'll be back with you tomorrow. Maybe not Bryan, but if there's a guest
Wait.
that you would like to see, let me
Wait.
know.
Why
Do
not?
you want to come back tomorrow?
Did I get fired already?
No, you just.
I thought
you
this
did
was like a
such-
Regis and Kathy Lee kind of thing.
We could do that. I'm down.
Yeah.
Why not? If there's a guest you want to see, comment. I'd be happy to ask them to see if they'd like to be a part of this. Also, don't forget, Yes Network tomorrow. We are going to have the Aaron Boone press conference live. It is the first time he is addressing you, the fans, for the 2020 season, so you'll want to be there. That's at 1:30 on the Yes Network. I imagine we're probably going to replay it again. You can find it on our digitals, whether it be Twitter, Facebook, or yesnetwork.com. Jack Curry and I will be down here all spring, so check both of our pages for some additional content, and then we will be bringing you the first game later in February. Are you excited?
I am.
Are you
Yeah.
So, like, first day,
Yeah.
butterflies in the stomach, or just overall excitement?
Not butterflies anymore.
Do you ask yourself, is it the first day of school all over again? What am I
Yeah.
gonna wear? What do I
Totally.
need to pack?
It's
do I
more that
pack a
vibe.
lunch?
It's- Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally that vibe. Yeah. It's first day of school. You're seeing all your old friends again, and
then
yeah.
you realize 5 minutes in you don't like anybody? No,
Well,
kidding. I'm kidding.
You're speaking a lot about your. That was your high school career. I don't know.
So kidding.
I liked high school.
I am so
I was good at high school.
kidding.
But yeah, it's like you see people you haven't seen for a while, and you get to catch up, and yeah, it's fun.
Trying to think if there's one more thing before I let you go that I feel like the people should know about.
Okay.
The campaign before the wedding.
Do you want to tell the story, or should I?
I feel like you should tell the story in the John Sterling voice.
Well, you're putting me on the spot. Well, the Yankees were in Seattle, and lovely Meredith here decided that I needed hair for my wedding. Can I stop the Sterling voice? So anyway, she proposed the idea that we should start a GoFundMe called
Hair for Hoch.
hashtag Hair for Hoch. I don't think she ever put it online, but it probably would have made a few bucks. And as you can see, it didn't happen. And
Maybe
so,
this is a 2020 thing.
I don't know.
You seem very reserved to the
I
fact
do
that this
think
is just
I did
resigned to
resign to the
of
fact.
it.
I mean, yeah, you embrace it. This is life.
It was so funny.
But
there was a lot of
she
support.
did some Photoshop with it, where I think I had like her hair on my head, and it looked good. I mean, I'm not gonna say it didn't, but no. I just was thinking, like, what if I got that surgery done during the off season and showed up like first day of spring training, full coif
Full-
of beautiful, chestnut almond hair.
That would be great.
Be great.
That would be.
Be good. Maybe
Amazing.
I mean, is there a wig store around here? If you know a good wig store in the Tampa area,
Okay.
Yep,
On
we
that
good?
note,
Yeah.
I think we've done enough.
We done enough damage?
Hoke and I are going to grab dinner, but thank you so much for joining us. Maybe we'll be back tomorrow. Maybe we won't.
I think we've been canceled. Good night.
See ya.